doing? Wow.
Yeah. So, last time, the mirror turned into this.
Yeah.
So, it's just that.
Just that one? Or you have more?
There's a couple.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of, like, implementing them, like, in pieces. And I'm working on some abstract pieces.
Okay.
And then there's a couple, like, more, stylized, like, self-portrait, too.
So this is all things that you've done.
Yeah, and I have a bunch of collages inside.
Yay!
Yeah, so I've done, I think
collages
it's like
are great.
10 paintings. Right
Nice.
now. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's way more than I've, like, been making. Like, when I was working all the time. I was maybe making, like, 1 or 2 paintings every couple months. Oh my god. The chickens.
I know. I can't tell if that's the one that I need to know.
God.
I don't think he could catch.
I think she's fast.
Yeah.
She's fast.
Yeah. So you have some, did you bring like objects with you?
I have some found objects, kind of. There's a mug in there that I want to buy from you that I found on your shelf over here. And then, so I've kind of just been, like, finding things and using what I have and brought, which I kind of brought, like, a random assortment of all my supplies. Like, I don't know, it's kind of, I think having limited supplies pushes you to, use what you have and, like, make it work for you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How long have you been painting?
My whole life. Probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you take classes when you were a kid, or you
I have always, like, just made stuff as a kid. Whether it's, like, playing outside and, like, building something or, I've always been making something. Or it's, like, toys or, anything. And then when I got to, like, middle school, high school, I started taking a bunch of art classes, and I took every single class my school offered. And it was really cool because we had, like, welding in high school.
Oh, that's where you took
making.
welding. Wow.
Yeah, we had everything. And so, I took everything. And I had done sports for a lot of my life. And then when I went to high school, is when I, like, switched and, like, prioritized art over sports. I, like, stopped playing sports. Yeah. And I just started making stuff. And
this one's new, right? You were talking about the bee? Yeah.
And I actually found a bee. So he's modeling for me. He's dead, but he's my model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love bumblebees.
But I feel like I've always just made stuff, but I think I got so busy with my life that I forgot how much joy it brought me.
Yeah.
But
even though you teach art.
Yeah, I teach art to kids all the time, but that's not me making stuff. That's me, teaching them how to paint, teaching them basic supplies,
Right.
Or colors or, anything.
Yeah.
And it hasn't given me enough time to work on my own things.
Yeah.
And now I do, and I know that I need this time, and that this time is important. And, because before, I think I'd always, like, I'll do art when I have time, but now it's like, I'll do other things when I have time.
Exactly.
It's, like, really, like, put back into focus, like, my priorities.
Yeah.
Because I have to make stuff.
Yeah. It's just part of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we get caught up in, like, everyday things, right? And then the year goes by. Yep. Or the 2 years go by, or whatever it is,
and that's like,
right?
And I think since the beginning of the pandemic, like, that also affected everything. I graduated college December 2019.
You did?
Right before everything. And so I
Wow.
I don't know the real world.
Yeah.
All I know is COVID world, like, post-school. And it's really weird.
That is weird.
I've been in school my whole life, and then now I got this.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to like focus on making stuff because I was just so focused on like getting by and like getting through.
Yeah.
How rough the past couple years have been.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of my work focuses on like process. And it's like processing trauma and things that I've been through, and I do a lot of like big paintings when I'm at home because then I can like use my whole arm, or so I think like movement plays into it too. It's kind of like it's like a dance,
yeah,
too, And then there's all of the other elements that come in too. It's like your supplies, your music that you're listening to, like all of it is part of the experience.
Yeah.
It's creating a nice experience for yourself.
Yeah. So when you get back to your normal, not normal, post-pandemic life, what do you hope to do? What is your
well,
how are you going to take this experience into that new life?
By no choice of my own, I'm not going to be working as much at my job.
Okay.
So I will have lots of time to make stuff, and so I'm really excited. I think it all happens for a reason.
Yeah. We've been working
able to utilize that
a lot we've been talking a lot as groups about Patreon and some other things like that.
A lot about social media and like how to like market myself, and like how to find my niche, my audience.
Yeah. Because you had some pet portraits on your site that I think, like people will pay for that. I think it's really nice.
A bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like doing that. But I'm trying to like, and I don't make stuff just to sell. I make it for me.
Yeah.
Which I think is another, difference between like, Hobby Lobby.
Right.
And, it's made with intention and emotion and...
Exactly. Is there any piece that you want to talk about?
Not really. Not yet. I don't know. I feel like...
So I'm going to sit over here, and if you can you turn around so things are behind you? Cool. That's great. Yay. So I talked to you like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think.
I made a lot since
right?
Then. That was when I was still like stumped and still
trying
to like figure things out. Just like sketching around and drawing stuff.
Yeah.
But
and it might have been around the time where you woke up with the dream of the mirror because you've been walking past it a couple of times.
I think it was meant to, because I mean, whenever I was like drawing like, a clown and an alien, and I'm like, like then I was like, nah. But, like, it was made for me to go through that process, like to decide how I actually feel, like, because I think it was the visualization of myself in the mirror while I'm painting. Then I'm like, wait, no, this is what I think I should paint, but it doesn't actually fit once I see it like on myself.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. And
so it turned into this like big like abstract piece. There's like, I have a bunch of like pieces of it that I've been like using for different things.
Yeah, great.
So I mean, I've been using it, but
so you have an apartment where you reside, and do you have space to work?
Yeah, I have like a little 1-bedroom, and I'm going to turn my like dining room into my studio room because it's not right now. It's in my living room. But I'm like, not needs to be separate. I need to be able to walk away from it for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've already thought about how I'm gonna reorganize my studio space and make it work for me better.
That's great. That's great. So I forgot the answer to the first question I had about residencies and why you decided to come here.
Oh, because I thought I wanted to apply for grad school, remember? I don't think I do.
No. Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it. I'm already in so much debt.
Yeah.
And I think I've decided, like, I feel like I've had a lot of, like, a personal growth experience, too. It's not just making art. Like, I have discovered that I don't need external validation to, like, prove my worth.
Yeah.
Because that's for me. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Exactly.
Yes, I love other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But...
Well, I think grad school is like 2 or 3 years of this, right? So you got like a little dose of it, and you kind of crammed a lot in a little bit of time, and you don't have to worry about grades, you don't have to worry about all the other crap, right? And what would have happened if you had started grad school and a year in, you're like, oh wait, what am I doing, right?
Exactly.
So I know that y'all didn't have a chance to meet Alex and Rhina or chat with them too much, I don't think. But I was spending a lot of time talking to them every night about academia and frustrations and what else to do with their lives, and they're getting married, and how do you do art? How do you be an artist if you're distracted by all these things, right?
They don't teach you that in school.
No. And that's I had like I told you, I had a kind of glamorized vision of what teaching in this discipline of a creative discipline would be like. And then there's the requirements of research and all the freaking paperwork is insane. You have to like document the documents, and at the end of every year you're like documenting what you did, and you're basically trying to explain yourself as an artist to the entire rest of the faculty that have no freaking clue what you do, right? So it's like this constant attempt for validation, right? And then in the meantime, you never have time to do your work.
Stuff that you actually want to make.
Yeah. So there are some artist faculty people that I see that have practices, but I don't think that either they're later in their career and they've gotten the tenure and it's like whatever, and then they don't spend any time doing anything at school, right? But how long do you go for that? And I wrote Alex and Rhina a message after they left, and I was thinking about it, like a sabbatical thing is like something that is this kind of like the thing that you strive for, right? You like work your way through school and
get a sabbatical, which is 1 semester off.
Well, 1 semester would be your full salary, and a year would be half your salary. That's typical. And then you have to stay for 2 years usually. My best friend that lives in Nashville has been teaching for 17 years and has never taken a sabbatical. Wow. There's people that I worked with when I worked at Belmont that have never taken a sabbatical their whole entire career. And it's part of your health and wellness. It's a benefit. And when you don't take it, the school really gets away with a lot, right? Because their role is to offer that and encourage you to do it. And I think that, I keep seeing a lot of, not that I'm on social media right now, but kind of work-life balance issues. I'm seeing memes like, don't accept, working 24 hours a day or whatever, emailing late at night. And I think that the academic version of that is similar, right? Where it's just you work your butt off and they keep saying that you're going to have these benefits, but you never do, right? So, I think that, there's always time. If you decide to do that some other time,
then
go for it then, right?
Yeah.
But
no, I know.
Think about like, I'm watching the chickens. They're so funny.
I want to travel and I want to do things and I want to do other residencies. Right. This was kind of like my dipping my toe in the water. Yeah. And be like, okay, so now I can go somewhere farther away.
Exactly.
Because I'm like, I was fine being away from home for a
exactly.
month, which I've never been away from home this long.
Wow. Yeah. Because you have a dog and family and yada yadas. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, think about like, my advice to people like college in general, even though you went and had a positive experience, isn't necessarily needed for some people, like if you think about how much a college would be for a year, right? So if it's 20,000, right? What if you took 5,000
and went on a trip?
I went on a trip, right? Yes. And did a residency in another place. And you don't even have to do residencies anymore because there's so many creative people in the world that have found all of these kind of flattened things like Airbnb experiences where they're offering workshops in all of these places. Yeah. So I've done a lot of research for kind of art travel, and there's so many cool things that people, so why not take $5,000 and go on a trip, and you're taking workshops with professional artists, and you're like learning and seeing and talking, and then having, wine in Italy at the end of the day or whatever it might be. I mean, here you told me that yesterday that y'all went to a local watering hole, and that was cool. It was great. That was like, a cultural experience too, right? Mm-hmm. So you've embraced all that there is.
We went to the drum circle. We did everything.
So much. So much stuff. Mm-hmm. Drum circle, farmer's market, the farm, hiking, rivering, photo shoots with coriander, all sorts of things. Yeah.
Lots of explorations, lots of walking around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you think has been the best part?
I think just being able to not feel restricted by like time for a minute. Yeah. Like I was saying, like the time is different here.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's been a month.
Yeah, I know.
Like I don't feel like I'm leaving in 2 days. But I appreciate it, and it's just different. Like
it's weird.
Mm-hmm. I'm able to like separate myself from my like day-to-day problems and really just like focus on what I want to do, not what I want other people to do or what I want other people to think of me or what I think other people want me to do. Like none of it. Like I want to go to the river, so I'm gonna go to the river. Like I'm gonna go do whatever I want.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Or I'm gonna stay up until 3 a.m. painting.
Exactly.
Then I'll do it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can and I want to.
And tomorrow because I don't have to go to a 9 to 5.
Yeah, exactly. And what great thing about that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's really about finding that kind of way to thrive in the lifestyle that you want.
Exactly. And make it work for you instead of you working for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you live in a place that's relatively conducive to that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's the Wichita Art Museum, and that's walking distance.
Wow, really? That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. But we have a couple different museums. So I'm like, I'll see what happens. I'm gonna get through this next month. I'm gonna have to substitute teach a lot. Okay. And then it'll be summer, so I'm like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm just, like keeping my ideas open, keeping options open for anything that's supposed to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a affordable place, and there's creative community, and that's great. And you've made some connections here.
Yes.
So apparently road trips are going to be happening and travels and all sorts of things. That's the guy that I can't keep in the coop. Okay. He's the loner.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's the one that keeps, I don't know. Anyway.
Breaking out?
Yeah. Well, it's been great having you around. Thanks. Your vitality and enthusiasm is just beyond.
Thank you.
It's awesome. It is. It's really just, it rubs off,
Thanks.
And I think that having just a positive outlook on life is really, it's great to have around, So, yeah.
I try. I mean,
I think it's just, I don't know. Do you think it's try, or you think it's just
maybe it's just how I am? Yeah, I don't know. See, and I have a hard time talking good about myself sometimes too. So that's something I'm working on. But
yeah, I think it is. When you first got here, you drove up. You've been driving for a while, and you had a hat on. And when you took your hat off, you had a shaved head, right? And the last time I saw your picture, you didn't have.
It was like down to here.
Yeah. And I think that what you told me that was really profound. And I think that cutting your hair before you came here. Wasn't it recent?
It was, end of January, beginning of February.
Yeah. Is kind of a component of all of these changes, and self-empowerment and yeah.
And I know that I'm gonna move differently when I go back home. But it's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's stay in touch, okay?
Oh, for sure.
Come back.
Yeah.
Okay.